What's going on, everybody? My name is Mark Farzetta. It's nice to have you along for the ride. This is a little show we do called The Farzy Show, and it's Super Bowl week, baby. You know, the Super Bowl, personally, is a family reunion for the Farzetta family. True story. We get all the Farzettas gathered together. There's ends up being about 70 of us. Well, not all of them are Farzettas technically. But anyway, the whole family gets together. It's a great time. And my brother is picking up that tradition. It really ended with COVID, unfortunately. Usually is at mom and pop Farzetta's house, and now it's going to be at my brother's. And unfortunately, I can't make it because I got to do pre and post for the Eagles. Being in the Super Bowl. This is the week where it all the pomp and like last week. That was just like, okay, hey, how about the NFC Championship? That was cool, right? We're going to go to the Super Bowl. That's awesome, right? Now they're there. They are in New Orleans. You got the players posting from the Bayou. You got all the Fox 29. Fox has the game. Fox 29 is down there. So I have no Fox it today, so I won't be scurrying out of here, in a few minutes. And this is it. This is what it's all about. And everything I have heard coming out of the Eagles locker room is exactly what you want to hear. Not that I would expect anyone to say anything along the lines of I can't wait for all the interviews. I can't wait for media night. I can't wait to get asked a question about who's my hero? What's something that my high school coach said to me that was motivating? What's my favorite color? If I had to direct The Godfather, how would I change it? Nothing like that. No one is looking forward to questions like that. I remember one year, one woman dressed up in a wedding dress, and she went to media night, and she was just asking players to marry her. And I was like, shoot your shot, lady. But it all goes down. And this is the week it goes down. And this is what it's all about. And it's a very different feeling personally for me. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. But the fact that the Eagles have won a Super Bowl now in my lifetime, the fact that 5 years later the Eagles were back in another Super Bowl, and now they're at their third Super Bowl in 8 years. What city am I in? This doesn't happen to us. This doesn't happen to Philadelphia. This is insane. And all throughout this year, I had my doubts about how far the Eagles would go in the playoffs, but I never doubted the Eagles going to the playoffs. And, oh my goodness gracious, you win 10 games in a row. The only game you lose is a game you have your quarterback for 11 snaps. That was against the Commanders the second time. And then other than that, they just dominate. They just dominate. There's little hiccups here and there where they have a slow start, and they had a lot of those, don't get me wrong. But I never went into a game where the Eagles aren't going to win this one. The Eagles don't got it this time. The Eagles aren't going to win this game. No, sirree. And every single time they stepped up. And now, after rolling through the playoffs, dominating through the playoffs, they have to face the dynasty. And what occurred to me, and this might be obvious to some, but what occurred to me over this weekend when I was listening to Jalen Hurts, I was listening to Brandon Graham again, and I was listening to Lane Johnson talk about what's more special about this team versus the team from 2 years ago, 3 years ago that went to that Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. Is this team closer? Whatever. When I was listening to these guys, and I was listening to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson break down the huddle at practice at Lincoln Financial Field late last week, I started thinking, if this was a up-and-coming Kansas City Chiefs team, or even if it was the Kansas City Chiefs that say maybe won one Super Bowl, and they weren't going for 3 in a row, but they won one Super Bowl, and it was the Super Bowl they beat the Eagles in. If it wasn't a dynasty type of Kansas City Chiefs team, if I was just to look at this team at the season they had, and they were going up against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, I'd say the Eagles are going to kill them. I'd say, what, 1.5? If what? This Eagles are 1.5 underdogs in this game. They should be 7.5 point overdogs, favorites, of course. But because it's Patrick Mahomes and because it's Travis Kelce and because it's Chris Jones and because it's Steve Spagnuolo and because it is the dynasty, that all factors into the fact that this is probably going to come down to the final possession. But if you just look at the season the Chiefs had, and I keep on making the point that they just don't dominate. They dominate in the idea of they find a way to win and find a way to win. But just as we said about the Eagles last year, that can't be your MO. It finally caught up with the Eagles at the end of the season. end of the season with 6 games left, but it caught up with them. Is it going to catch up with the Chiefs? And I feel like it is going to catch up with the Chiefs, not in the idea that the Eagles are going to win this game, 55-20, but I feel like it's going to catch up to the Chiefs where this is the game where they can't find the roadmap to victory. And I truly feel, and I've cross-examined myself all throughout the weekend when this came to me, if it wasn't the fact that the Chiefs have been this dynasty of a franchise, then I'd feel like I'm extremely confident that the Eagles are going to blow them out. But it is the Chiefs. We all know the opponent. We all know the reality of the situation. And they have been that pretty good. And this is their stage. And you want to talk about experience? Well, they got a lot of it. And that's what they're bringing. That's what they're bringing Sunday at 6:33, I believe. Kickoff is supposed to be now. That's what they're bringing. And, all this is going to come to a head right then and there. And here's the thing. It's not even 6:33. It's going to be at, 8:30, 8:33? No, probably 9. Probably 9, given the Super Bowl, given the halftime, and all this stuff. Give it a little bit later. It's all going to come to a head when whoever has that ball last. That's what. That's where it's going to be decided. It's going to be. Look, even if you're up 2 touchdowns, you're still going to feel uncomfortable about the Chiefs. But I just feel so damn good about the Eagles winning this game. It's not going to be easy, but I feel so damn good about it. And look, we're going to talk about a lot of things that the players had to say. We're going to talk about Brandon Graham's health update, give the latest on his health status. He did address the crowd at Lincoln Financial Field. How about that? Packing the field there at the Link. Whole sections just full of people down there. How incredible is that for the send-off yesterday? That is a beautiful thing. At Saturday's Philadelphia Wings lacrosse game, Will Shipley came on out. I didn't even realize he was a 5-star lacrosse recruit in high school. That's pretty special. He was there with his fiance running around. Place was going nuts for Will Shipley. I didn't get a chance to ask him if he just ran out of gas for his touchdown, there in the NFC Championship game. But the fans are just hyped, as one would assume. But are you getting, as we get closer to this is Monday, where are you at in your confidence level that the Eagles are coming home Super Bowl champions? Because the next time we see the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia is either going to be at a bummed out locker room clean out where we go through all the stuff about, this, that, and the other. We got to ask Jalen Hurts about not losing Kellen Moore to the Saints and blah, 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 Or it's going to be a parade down Broad Street or up Broad Street again and then over on JFK and then up to the Parkway. And then, up the Art Museum steps, hopefully. Where are you at right now in your confidence level of this Eagles team being a Super Bowl champion again? Even just saying that is just fun. I keep going back to this season and a lot of things that I say about the Eagles, I could also say about the Chiefs. And one of the things I've said about the Eagles all season, especially if they've gone up against like good run defense, good teams with good run defenses. Even if I've talked about that, I say, you haven't played us. Saquon Barkley, this offensive line, you haven't played us. Well, the Chiefs can look at your 55 points against Washington Commanders and be like, you haven't played us. It is also nice that the last time the Eagles and Chiefs played each other was in Arrowhead, and the Eagles won that football game. And then all hell broke loose in Philadelphia after that. Before I get into playing anything for you guys, I really respect Pat McAfee. I really respect that show, and I respect the job he's done and having a YouTube show and selling it to ESPN and all that stuff. I think they just beat out the Farsi show. I think the ESPN was trying to buy us, but they were like, I was like, I don't want to sell out. Go with that Pat McAfee guy. Anyway, but I actually saw on one of the YouTube clips that they had interviewed Nick Sirianni. So I went and I watched the Nick Sirianni interview, which is a little less than 20 minutes or so. Talk about a crutch. Did you guys see this? Apparently they were waiting for Sirianni to connect and they were killing time. And throughout the show, one of the guys on the show, or throughout the season, one of the guys on the show was doing a Nick Sirianni impression. It started with the bald cap and the follicles of hair shooting out after Nick Sirianni shaved his head or buzzed his head, and he was yelling at the fans. It was all the same week. Came back from the bye week, and he had the buzz cut. And they started, making fun of Sirianni a lot more than most, which is fine. I mean, it's content, it's funny, whatever. Good. It did really well for them. I remember seeing that. And then they kept on referring, apparently, to Nick Sirianni after that as possibly a big dumb dip. You know what? And when they were waiting for Sirianni to connect with this interview last week, Pat McAfee kept on setting up one of his boys with, hey, maybe he's not and then his buddy would, his co-host, whatever, would fill in the blank with a big dumb. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. All right. You're waiting for a guy to come on the show and you're going with that. Okay, whatever. It was funny. I wasn't judging at that moment. I was just like, okay, that's cool. And then they must have said it about 3, 4, 5 times. And then they get Nick Sirianni. And I thought it was over. And then while Nick Sirianni was on, they continued at different points of the interview to be like, maybe this guy's not a big dumb dip. You know what? And I'm like, and Sirianni, to every ounce of his credit throughout this interview, is like, this is my second Super Bowl. I've never been a head coach before the Philadelphia Eagles. I've never been a head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is my second Super Bowl? Yeah, I think it's been confirmed that I'm not a big dumb dip. You know what? I think we're past that now. And throughout this, 18, 20-minute interview, they kept on going to it. I'm like, at some point, this guy's got to get some kind of respect. And Sirianni, to every ounce again of his credit, with grace and professionalism, just let it roll right off his back. And you could tell right before he signed off, when they did it again, he was just like, you could see him taking his mic off, looking at, probably Bob Lang, the Eagles PR guy. And he probably like, that was something. That was something. And then I was like looking at the comments, and I saw some of the comments were like, what a great sport, what a great sport, what a great sport. Oh, no, Nick Sirianni is what a great sport. And I'm like, yeah, the guy's going to his second Super Bowl. He's won 14 games in a season, not once, but twice. What are we doing? Like, even in Philadelphia, like, the credit for Nick Sirianni for me, before the collapse of last year, always came to the idea that he had his team prepared to play football games. And I know that some people might be like, oh, he's a head coach. He's what he's supposed to do. You're damn right that's what he's supposed to do. You know how many coaches don't do that? Those are the guys that are looking for jobs. Those are the guys that are into the year and gone. Those are the guys who are like, oh, maybe the second year he'll be, but then he's gone. That's the difference. This guy has his team ready to play. And when I look at what makes Nick Sirianni special, yeah, that's right, special. What I have looked at over his time here in Philadelphia is his ability to motivate the players. And how sometimes he'll say something stupid, go back to flower power, and that'll turn the world against not just him, but the locker room. And for whatever reason, and I'll never forget it, I remember we had Mike Sealski on the show, and he said, the flower power thing, his take on it was, I don't know what it takes to motivate 24, 25-year-old men nowadays. Whatever resonates with them doesn't resonate with me. And if flower power is the way to do it, then flower power is the way to do it. And if it turned out flower power was the way to do it. I don't know if it necessarily was his words at the time or if it was the reaction that it got that these Eagles players can't win with Nick Sirianni. And then every Eagles player that season took up for him. Every Eagles player responded. And every Eagles player made sure this team made the playoffs that year. So one for one. Nick Sirianni 1 year as a coach. Nick Sirianni 1 year in the playoffs. Following year, Nick takes a little step back, officially official, when it comes to play calling, and just does game planning with Shane Steichen. They go to a Super Bowl. Whatever he had to say to the locker room that year, whatever he was doing with his meetings with the team, he had them ready to play. And they win 14 games and they go to a Super Bowl. Year 3, the collapse. I can look at Nick. I can look at the leadership on that team. Jason Kelsey obviously still being there. Fletcher Cox still being there. All those guys, like everything went wrong. Jalen Hurts didn't play great. Run game suffered. Defense was, I'll never forget, begging for Zach Cunningham to come back. Begging. Like, we need our linebackers. Like, that's where we're at now. The defensive coordinator gets demoted. Essentially, he gets banished to the booth, who was a sideline guy, and Sean Desai. Now he's in the booth. You stay up there and you be quiet. Everything went wrong. So, like, I can't, Jalen Hurts sucked. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Nick Sirianni was terrible. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. The defense was terrible. Yep, that too. So everything went wrong. Can you say that's all on the head coach? Yeah, you could. But players still got to play the game. And yeah, coaches got to coach, but it was terrible. And I don't think we'll see that again. And then they bounce back this year. And Saquon said it best. At 2-2 going into the bye week, people are acting like the sky was falling in Philadelphia. And look, I love us. I love this city. I love the city of Philadelphia. And I love this fan base above all else. But, oh, my goodness gracious, 2-2 with this talented roster? I remember people thought I was being controversial when I simply said the Eagles were going to be a playoff team after they still be a playoff team after they beat the Browns. I can say this team's not a playoff team. One, it's not that much of a compliment to say that the team's going to go to the playoffs. It's not that much of a compliment nowadays in pretty much all sports. And two, I looked at this team, and I never saw Jalen Hurts as a obstacle or a hurdle or a hindrance. That's something I could honestly say. I never at any point this season, last year, thought that he was going to be the guy that cost the Eagles. And people were talking about him this year, like, the Eagles really got to overcome Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, are we watching the same guy? Do we not listen to this guy when he talks? Because words do matter sometimes, especially when they really do give you a window into a guy's mindset. And all throughout this process, Jalen Hurts has let you know who he is, which is he's a main thing is the main thing guy. And I don't know why that gets met with so many eye rolls. Maybe it doesn't now because he's in his second Super Bowl. But like, to me, that's cracking the code of sports. That's like, I'm not going to thrust myself into this because I have to, because I'm the quarterback. No, I have this amazing weapon, and I'm going to use it as often as I can. And that weapon is Saquon Barkley and that Jeff Stoutland offensive line. Here you go. Go ahead, do the thing. Okay, do the thing. Touchdown. Okay, we're winning now? Okay. That's all he cares about. Oh, I have to throw it now to win? I have to make the clutch throws? Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I got to convert on 3rd and 7. I've gone to these examples at nauseum. But I never looked at Jalen Hurts as if he was a hindrance or an obstacle the Eagles had to overcome. And then here they are now, back in the Super Bowl. So even when they were at, 3-2 after they beat the Browns, I was like, they have this quarterback. They have these offensive weapons. They have offensive weapons, including Saquon, behind this offensive line. After that game, and you saw Cooper DeJean play, you went, oh, maybe they got something here. Maybe they actually hit on 2 corners in one draft. How amazing is that? They still have Darius Slay. Darius Slay did nothing this season to make me go, that's the guy. And then the playoffs started, and I went, oh, there's the guy I've been waiting for. And then Jalen Carter just got better and better. Nolan Smith got better and better. Brandon Graham was playing out of his mind. Brandon Graham gets hurt. Nolan Smith plays even better, takes it to the next level. After the bye week, Nolan Smith went from like, is this guy going to be anything to, oh, maybe we have something here. And then BG went down. And it was the next level up. I mean, he just kept hitting the power up button this season. And I looked at this team and I went, this team really could do something special. And then they just kept winning. They just kept winning. And even in a game where Kenny Pickett played the vast majority of quarterback, you're a Devontae Smith catch away from a 15-win season. Hell, you could win 16 games. You talk about 2 crucial drops. You're talking about potentially a 16-win season. I mean, that's amazing. And that's what you're bringing into the Bayou. When all the beignets are done, with all that, what was that, powdered sugar? Whatever, I don't remember. I think it's powdered sugar. I've been there. It's delicious. Café du Monde. When all the powdered sugar settles, when all the interviews are over and they kick off, I have no reason to believe this Philadelphia Eagles team is not going to be ready to shock some people. And Jalen Hurts can join a very short list of quarterbacks that have beaten Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And that would be Tom Brady, and that would be Jalen Hurts. Look at that. That'd be it. That'd be it so far. A little humble pie for the KC parade. Little humble pie. Something else did pop up over the weekend. I saw the Troy Aikman comments regarding the Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl and how the Chiefs certainly look like they get favoritism from the officiating crew. Look, it's a real thing. I said this Friday. I'll reiterate. There is no doubt in my mind there is going to be one play that we look at in this game that for no reason other than just to piss us off goes in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's going to be, I don't even think it's going to be a play. That could have gone either way. I get it. It's going to be like, what? I don't know if that's going to be a hold on a 3rd and 8 when the Chiefs are driving to tie the game up at 35. Or if that's going to be some phantom holding call that could have been called on any other play, but for whatever reason it was called on that one in the fourth quarter. You know, that's what we could really break down. It's going to be one that really sticks in our crawls, unfortunately. Anyway, excuse me. I still got the lingering cough of the flu. As I said, the cough sticks with you just to taunt you. I know this because I'm a medical expert. Anyway, let's get into some sound here. Right there, Nick?
That's pretty dope.
Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, over the weekend, a lot of media, a lot of players sitting out at the podium. We've heard from AJ Brown talk about how he just wants to get to the game. It's simple as that. Just get me to the game. Jalen Carter was addressing the media over the weekend. Just get me to the game. Doesn't worry about all this stuff. Doesn't want any of this. Just wants to kick off on Sunday and try to win a football game. That's all the focus that you want. So at Lincoln Financial Field, this was interesting. When the Eagles were breaking down practice, they went to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to break it down. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's message basically was, and I love it. You know, I know I talk a lot of ish, okay? I know I talk a lot of ish. But this moment ain't for everybody. This moment right here, getting ready to play in a Super Bowl, is not for everybody. What he means is people cower at moments like this. They might get so far and then, turtle up. They might shrivel up. They might cower to the moment. The phrase is the moment's too big for them. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson telling you, hey, there are people out there that are not ready for this. We're ready for this. And he's telling all the young guys on this team, he's telling the guys that were on the team 2 years ago that this is exactly where you want to be. This is why you fought so hard. The old Bill Parcells line, this is why you lift them weights to get to moments like this. He said, this is for a championship. And that was his message to the team. So Zach Berman of PHLY is there at his locker, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is really taking exception to any question that hints at any semblance of doubt that the Eagles would ever get back to this spot, because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson talked when he became an Eagle again about getting back to this point and winning a championship. And he wasn't having it. He's like, well, why would you say something like that, Chauncey? And he's like, why would you ask dumb questions? Literally said that. Why would you ask dumb questions? Not that anyone would find it hard to believe that CJGJ said that, but that's what he said. Why would you ask dumb questions? So when they finally broke it down, he talked about why that was his message to the team, why it was important to reiterate that message that this moment ain't for everybody, but it is for us.
It's not important. It's one of those, I've been there before. It's not really important. There's no such thing as importance when you're talking to your team. Everything you say to your team is important. I think the message is I've been here before, you've been here before, and a couple guys that ain't been here before got to get ready. Like, I played in that stadium 2 years ago against San Fran. You know what it was like. You've been there. And the message was to, like, what are you here for? A lot of guys say, I want to win. But in order to win, it starts somewhere. In that moment at practice, you got to look yourself in the mirror. Like, what are you here for? You're here to be okay. You're here to be a great teammate. You're here to be a champion. And I think this locker room is built on champions. A lot of these guys that won a lot in their career from college to now are stopped.
I expected him to almost pile on, and he didn't do that at all. Like his message couldn't be more clear. Like everything that you've done. If you weren't with us 2 years ago, and even if you were, like, you take the moment, you learn from it, and then you come back here and you're better. But everything you've done in your career, and the amount of people in this locker room that talk about college, and I guess really in Eagles history, we're not used to that many people. I should say in the Jeffrey Lurie era, we're not really used to that many people or that many players coming out of college winning college championships, like the Georgia kids, for instance, Bama guys, for instance, like the success they've had in their college careers. Because that's a fairly new thing, unfortunately, for Howie Roseman to be like, oh, maybe I should draft players out of the SEC. Oh, yeah, maybe I should do that. That was a big thing. Talking about why are you taking all these guys from small schools? You know? But these guys really do call on their college experiences, especially a guy like Jalen Carter. And Jalen Carter called on it when he was asked about, what the week has been like, and a lot of success in college. You call on that. He's like, yeah, absolutely. You're playing big games in college, and everyone's watching. The nation is watching and all that. But this is the Super Bowl. This is that next level up. I was like, okay, good. I hate when people say it's the same thing because it's not. And with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's messages to the team this whole week, and will continue probably to be up until kickoff, is we are ready. If you're not ready now, you will be ready by kickoff, or else. It's almost a threat. But that's what this team has. That's what this team has. This is the leadership going into it. And the leadership is not hollow. The leadership is tangible. The leadership is experienced. And they've been in this situation. And now they're taking you back to that situation. Even the guys that aren't here now, whether it's Jason Kelsey or it's Fletcher Cox or whoever, Brandon Graham's still on this trip. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's still on this trip. Lane Johnson's on this trip. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jordan Mailata, Dallas Goedert. I love that it's getting attention. He was the first Eagle drafted in that second round after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Same year as Dallas Goedert, Avonte Maddox, Jordan Mailata. I think the Eagles had 5 picks that year, and they took, was it 3 football players? Because Jordan Mailata at that time wasn't even a football player. He was still just a rugby guy who did the international workout program. And Jeff Stoutland was like, yeah, I can do something with this. Turned him into the highest rated football player in the NFL by Pro Football Focus. That's right. Highest rated football player. That's pretty special. Like, he did his job better than anybody else did their job this year. That's something. Speaking of Lane was asked about what makes this team special. Jordan Mailata said it last week about how well this team is prepared. Jordan Mailata was talking about how this team might be a little bit more special than the team from 2 years ago. Lane Johnson chimed on that yesterday.
I don't know. I think adversity brings people closer. We had some last season, so I don't know. I just feel like we're all really close. I mean, we were close in that team too, but I feel like us just probably we interact maybe more with the defense than we did with that team. But with any team that I've been a part of, it's been really good. Usually really close on all the field, but it's pretty similar.
Everyone will talk about a silver lining potentially in what happened last year. That I don't like doing that, because I like and agree with the philosophy of, no, that was a bad thing, and it's a bad thing that happened. I'm not going to act like there was something good about it. You know what I mean? Like losing 6 out of 7 to end the season last year, that sucked. Having a lot of winnable moments and then just losing it, Cardinals game, Saints game, Seahawks game in particular, yeah, that just sucked. Like, I hate looking, oh, thank God that happened, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. Like, no, I don't thank anybody that happened. That was terrible. But I guess if you're a player and you're in it, you got to look at it like that in some way. And their idea of looking at it from Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata's perspective is, oh, wow, okay, so that did suck, but we're not going to get back to that point. And we're going to work our tails off to make sure that we're not going to go back to the team that collapsed. And I know some people looked at it, and for some reason to me, and I know this was my point as it was happening, but to call back to it, when this team was winning 5-6 games in a row, before they got to 10, people were talking about, oh, you're worried about a collapse? Are you worried about what happened last year is going to happen again? No, I'm not worried that's going to happen. Was it in the back of my mind? Sure, just because there is a little shell shock to it. But in watching the team, I wasn't going, oh man, just cherish it now because it's all going to be gone tomorrow. Like, there was never a doomsday scenario for me with this team. There's never a moment where I was like, oh, they're going to lose it. Oh, here we go. They're going to lose 6 out of the last 7. They're going to be terrible. Jalen Hurts is going to turn the football over again at an alarming rate. They're not going to run the football well. The defense is going to collapse. That never happened to me. And you might say that's, midnight green colored glasses. I don't know. You might say that's too much optimism. You might say that's being a homer. But you tell me, at any point this season, when the Eagles really started rolling, did you look at this? Were you thinking to yourself, it's all going to be gone. It's all going to be gone. They're not even going to win a playoff game. I never felt like that. I never felt like that. So when you look at last year's adversity, yeah, sure, I guess as a team, you go through it. It's like, that's not going to happen again. It's going to motivate us more. All right, maybe that had something to do with it. But according to Lane, according to Jordan, you go through that adversity together, and yeah, it brings you closer. Hey, look, in anything in life, any walk of life, you go through adversity with somebody, the odds are that's going to bring you closer together if you're working as a team. That's the way they chose to do it. Good for them. I couldn't look at it like that, but good for them. They could. But I never looked at this year and went, oh, no, last year's going to happen again. Didn't happen one time. I just thought this team was too talented. Not that I ever thought that it was going to cost them the NFC Championship game, but I thought the NFC Championship game was the game you were really going to miss Nakobe Dean. I thought that was the game you're going to miss Nakobe Dean. You're going to need somebody to spy on Jaden Daniels. You're going to need somebody to contain him. And Vic Fangio and this defense was like, nope, we got it. Oren Burks just got better and better and better. And I've heard Seth Joyner talk about this quite a bit. When you have those other guys stepping up, so if you're Nolan Smith stepping in for Brandon Graham, we talked about those levels, those tiers are there where Nolan Smith just kept getting better and better. After the bye week was better. Brandon Graham goes down, he gets better. Just kept getting better throughout this season. Oren Burks comes in, has a rough couple of quarters, and then in the second half of his first game as a starter, filling in for Nakobe Dean, he really helps dominate. In the NFC Championship game, nope, didn't miss Nakobe Dean. And all the respect in the world to Nakobe Dean. I hope he's back and starting in a linebacker position for the Philadelphia Eagles next year, just like I hope that for Zach Bond, that he's right here in Philadelphia. No, he just was the next man up. His next man up. It's a very talented team. It's a very deep team. And I don't get the sense that any moment is too big for him. Any moment's too big for him. So that's what Lane had to say about just in terms of the difference from last year and this year and what has helped this season. As far as your quarterback, I want to get to Jalen Hurts. I don't have to get these in order. It doesn't matter. All right. First, how was this phrased? He was asked if he had moved on from the Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs. I was a little surprised by his answer. I was surprised. Well, here's his answer. Have you moved on from the last time you saw the Chiefs?
I moved on to the next season and prepare for that. Obviously, you still have different motivations, and you're motivated by any time you come up short in anything, and having that perspective of just trying to learn from all of your lessons. So. No shortcoming is bigger than the other. You just want to learn from them all.
All right. I was half expecting him to say that he hasn't moved on, that it's still very much in his head, but only in a motivating factor or anything like that. Like I didn't expect him to be necessarily negative. I expected him to be honest. I wasn't expecting that to be his answer. And the reason I wasn't expecting is because everything else was kind of on point. Now, what was everything else? He got asked the question. Well, you'll hear the whole thing. Here we go.
Sorry.
What's your most vivid memory of that Super Bowl?
Next question. Sorry.
What's your most vivid memory of that Super Bowl?
Next question.
So, I think we all know what his most vivid memory of that Super Bowl was. And that was walking off the field in the confetti. Literally, he made it his lock screen. Every time he looked at his phone. Every time my lock screen is me and my wife. It's me and my wife at our wedding. And people are like, why don't you have your kids? I'm like, well, because this is where it started. My kids came from this, so I have where it started. That's my lock screen. Okay. His lock screen is losing the Super Bowl. You want to ask a man what's his most vivid memory? Yeah, I think it's I almost cursed. I think it was a crappy one. I think it was one that he walks off the field with the confetti falling, and he looks up those confetti. That ain't Eagle colors, man. This is what the red and yellow. You know, it wasn't green and midnight green and white. That wasn't fun. So then Jeff McClain follows up. Here's the whole thing.
What's your most vivid memory of that Super Bowl?
Next question. I mean,
What did you learn from that and that you can apply to returning?
There we go. I think hindsight, from a perspective that everyone's not really experienced that before, everything that comes with the week, I think that that's something that's big, is just being of good influence on the guys that haven't been there before, being able to answer questions and open that door so everyone's that much closer when we go out there and experience, because in the end it's a business trip and it's an opportunity that we've worked for to have, and we want to take advantage of it.
Jeff McClain, veteran reporter, knowing the subject, went right down. He walked the subject to water, and then he drank. Jalen Hurts always says, you win or you learn. Not you win or you lose, you win or you learn. So McClain took it another direction. It's okay, what did you learn from that? And then you hear even Jalen Hurts go, wow, there you go. You win or you learn. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So what did he learn? He learned from the experience. And with that experience, he's going to help the younger guys along throughout this and kind of make sure he sets the precedent for, hey, this is what you gotta do this week. If you have the interviews, you have the media requests, let's not forget to keep the main thing. We want to focus on the game. That's the number one priority. You're going to be swept off your feet with attention this week. It's going to be very flattering, but you still can't forget the task at hand. I told the story last week about bumping into guys buying a video game, buying literally a whole video game console to play in their hotel rooms to stay out of trouble and stay around the guys as opposed to going out where there's trouble waiting for you. Also, it was cold as hell in Minnesota that year. But anyway, that is what they did. New Orleans has a lot of temptations. If you haven't been, it's a lot of temptations in New Orleans. But he's taking that experience with everybody to make sure that they keep the main thing. And as far as the vivid memory and all that, I am sure in the most positive way that is a motivating factor for Jalen Hurts going into this game. Something that unfortunately has been a distraction has been Kellen Moore and the interest from the Saints, and Kellen potentially playing hard to get. When it comes to the Saints, as they're informing people that, we're not really ready to make an announcement, or we're not really taking more candidates, whatever. But Jalen Hurts was asked about Kellen Moore throughout the week with all the attention he's getting for a potential head coaching spot.
What's his mindset?
Yeah, I really don't pay attention to it. Obviously, I get prepped before I come up here, but I wouldn't have known a thing. I think he's handled it great. I don't know what's going to happen after that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but in terms of his focus, our focus, and all of our intensity being towards this, I feel like he's been doing a great job.
There we go. Everyone's paying attention. All right, fair enough. So that's some of the stuff that came out of the locker room this week. As far as Brandon Graham goes, I couldn't get a good read as to it really did. I think he's playing in the game. I don't think he's playing 44% of the snaps like he had been throughout the season. A couple snaps. Nolan Smith needs a break. Brandon Graham goes in. Little change. I don't even know if it's a change of pace. I don't know. But I think Brandon Graham is going to be active on game day. Snap count, I think he's going to get a handful of snaps. It all depends on endurance. He said last week his endurance was good. I think the last practice was Friday. He still said his endurance was good. And after that practice, here's him with the practice mode.
How much were you able to ramp it up when you were hoping you were?
Man, it's going way better than I thought, and I'm excited. We're just taking it one day at a time, but man, I'm feeling good. Really feeling good about it.
And BG, I imagine the first goal was just getting back out there at practice. What's the next goal in recovery right now?
Just making sure that I'm in enough shape to go play this game, and make sure that I'm out just whenever my name get called, just do my job and have fun out there, and keep the boys rallied up so that we can go out and go execute and try to get this game.
And when do you make the call, or your coaching staff make the call of what role you'll play in the game? Is there a timeline on this, or a deadline, if you will?
You know what? I think it's just them seeing me every day and just seeing what they just surprised that I'm back. But really, they just want to see if it's a drop off or anything. Like they really just want to see what I can do. And I think I've shown a little bit today, even more, because every day we've been adding more to it, adding more on my plate. So today was a really good one.
Today was really good. It was one of the things I took away from his comments the other day in his locker, because one of the things I was concerned about was endurance. Like, okay, that's fine. He might be healthy enough to play. His triceps might be in a position where he's healthy enough to play. But endurance-wise, is he going to be in good football shape? Because it's one thing to go out there and your first day back and you're excited, the adrenaline's going. Literally, coaches got to tell you, like, okay, man, don't get too jazzed up, okay? Don't get too jazzed up here. We still got a lot to do. And he goes out there and he's flying around and he's making contact and he's striking, as he's calling it, and nothing's hurting. He's got the brace on. Nothing's hurting. He's going through. The doctors, the teammates, the coaches are very surprised about his great progress. I was worried about what he had to say about his conditioning. He sounded more winded after practice. So I was like, okay, this is all right. But his mindset is all in the same spot, that he's going to play in this game. He's still saying we'll see, but everything I heard from him during this media session was trending again in the direction that he's playing. See what happens when he gets down there to New Orleans. But as of right now, first couple of days, endurance, check. Pain, check. What else? What else do you need? I think he's playing. I think he's absolutely going to get be activated. I think he's absolutely going to be activated on game day. But the question is he a 10-snap guy? Is he I don't know how many percentages. I don't know what percentage to give you, but I'd say I'm about 99.9% sure he's playing. If you want to ask me how many snaps, that's the greater question. But he'll be active on game day. Hey, let me tell you about. Oh, by the way, while Brandon Graham is commenting, Vic Fangio is doing this. He's cooking us something up, Vic Fangio. That's why he actually talks. He takes away the accent when he does his press conferences, right? Ugh. Right. Anyway, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account. Use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? Game Time app has you covered. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase. You can use the Game Time Picks feature on the Game Time app. You know what that does? That filters out all the fluff. So you get the best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. Literally filters out thousands of other tickets so you don't have to just keep scrolling. You just see it right there. Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase. How about PHL Sports Nation? Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing a Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about our friend Brett over at Sky Motor Cars? SkyMotorCars.com. Check out Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorCars.com. Let's get into the chat check. See, you guys are bumping in there today. Nice to see you.
Well, that's pretty dope.
All right, scrolling up to the top. Am I at the top yet? I'm not at the top yet. Let's get to the top. Come on, here we go. Big bucks, no whammies. Here we go. Dooner, whatever. 6 days, baby. Let's party. Good morning. Go strong, I guess. Yep. All right. 93 days until I leave for Rome, Italy. I want to be rocking Super Bowl championship gear in Europe. Let's bleep and go. Dunner, going to Roma? First trip? Let me know. Here's my first piece of advice. If first trip to Italy, people that have been to Italy, they're like, oh, you got to go to this restaurant. Just be like, okay, thank you. And then don't go to that restaurant. Have your own experience. All right. It's Italy. Just avoid the places where all the menus are in English and you'll be good to go. All right. And if anyone's like, hey, come into my place. If they're doing that and they're like dragging you in, it's probably not your spot. Travel to where less people speak English in the towns, or just go to a town where nobody's speaking English anyway. And those are the places to be. There you go. Sean Gillespie. Anyway, hello. How you doing, Sean? Good morning. Nice to see you. Does anyone know where you can buy an Eagles hat like Nick Sirianni with the Italian flag on? That's interesting. They don't sell those in the pro shop? I would imagine they sold those in the pro shop. But bon voyage. Anyway. April, hello. Good morning, April. Why Niners won? Good morning. Dallas sucks. Sweet Sixers. Go Wings. Go Flyers. There you go. Not another good showing for the Flyers. What was that, a 4-2 loss? Why Niners won? Thank you for reminding me to check the Flyers after their devastating trade. 23, 25, and 6 on the season. 3 losses in a row. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Did I say 4-2? No, it was just 2-0. They lost to the Avalanche. They've been shut out in 3 straight games. We're having fun. STP, what's popping? Sean Kilrain, what's going on? Eagles are it's almost here, Eagles fans, says Devontae. Sean Gillespie, did someone in the Lakers sell their soul to the devil? I think that's what you mean. Luka Doncic getting traded. I was going to wait for the morning rush for that in the Aaron Fox trade, but anyway, they both happened. And Zach LaVine went to the Kings. Still love to see Zach LaVine come here. Zach LaVine went to the Kings. De'Aaron Fox went to the Spurs. And the Mavericks got, in an unrelated trade, Luka Doncic to the Lakers, AD to the Mavericks. Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers. I got home from the Wings Saturday night, and I saw Sham's tweet. It came up. I was watching Band of Brothers. I'm like on my 200th go-around of Band of Brothers. It's still the greatest television I've ever seen. And it's a mini-series, though, so I can't put it up against like Sopranos or Breaking Bad, whatever. But even if it did. And it came up on my phone like a little after midnight, like everybody else, I guess it was. And I went, no way. And it was one of those things that, like, I got the notification, so I know it's real. It's not some bogus account. But I still opened it up, hit it, and went, no, that's sham. And that's the name Luka Doncic, and he plays for the and he's going to trade to the Lakers. This still isn't right. Like, I haven't been this, in all honesty, in another stratosphere, but I felt the way I felt about it was similar how I like looked at my phone when the Eagles got Saquon Barkley. I was like, they don't do this. This doesn't happen. I think it was David Aldridge that described it as a, holy crap moment. But anyway, yep, that went down. Sean Kilray, Devontae Smith against the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo. 7 for 122, baby. Then 7 for 100 and 6 for 99. He'll eat Sunday. John Cheeseborough. How you doing? Kevin, what's popping? T-Bro, it's Super Bowl week, Monday. Go Birds. Let's bring back to the link. Hell yeah, Devontae. Second year pass rush, Nolan Smith is 1 sack away from having the most sacks in Philly team playoff history. I didn't realize that. Smith is 24 years old and playing in his second season. How about that? Sean Kilray, thanks. Sean Gillespie, hello again. Cheese! John Cheeseborough. After the month of January lasted 4 months, and the bye week felt like 83 weeks, finally, it's Super Bowl week. Hell yeah. Corey, the script already came out. There we go. Wow! Holy pots and pans. E-Money Bentley. Kansas City Chiefs 20, Eagles 62. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. John Cheeseborough. Now here's one of the talking points for the week. Mahomes versus the Vic Fangio defense. He's 8-0 versus Vic, yes. But 6 of those against the Broncos, who weren't good. The other 2 were with the Dolphins. Well, there you go. There you go. Shayna. What's going on, Shayna? Good morning. I'm ready for some football. Fly, Eagles, fly. Also, such tough losses for the Sixers, but I love what Maxey is bringing to the team. He thinks that it stinks that Embiid and PG are still out. So here's my question, though. Does the Luke trade and their concerns about his conditioning make you think differently about Joel Embiid? Like, are you ready to just, like, cast Joel Embiid off? as I've said, I was taking calls on trading him 2 years ago. So, like, you get a deal, I'm trading Embiid. That's happening. Would you trade Embiid? You trade Embiid, right? Yeah, I knew you'd trade Embiid because you're a heartless business person. As she comes down here in her hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
Good.
As you come down here in your heart PJs. Don't think it's gonna be close, says Twiz. John Cheeseman Kilray, and the best part about that is no Bradley, no Avante Maddox isn't in a big role in the defense. That's true. Sean Kilray is super confident. We have a great running back. Hurts has the look of redemption. We stopped the three-peat Patriots, and it's going to happen again. Our secondary is upgraded for 2022. I do agree. The thing is, that was like the best pass defense in the NFL that year, but I still have with the slot position and I feel like the slot position and overall, yes, I feel very strongly that Quinyon Mitchell is better than James Bradbury, but you can't forget that James Bradbury and Darius Slay that season had really good years. You also can't forget they had 70 sacks that season as well, but 0 in the Super Bowl. Shayna Moon. What? Why are you doing that? Okay. Oh, you're getting ready for life as a Philadelphia sports fan?
No. Ow, 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 ow.
Why are you flicking yourself in the head?
On my cheek.
Oh, your cheek. Oh, scoozy. April. Friggin' Sealski. That's funny.
Daddy, can I color?
Can you color? Yes, there's stuff. There's coloring pencils, and I brought you a paper the other day, and you can color on it.
No, like a paper.
Push bet. Do I need anything on this? No. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Knock yourself out.
I already have a pencil.
That's a pen. How about that?
I'm gonna draw.
Activate dad mode. Angry Mel Kiper and Jay Glazer. I used to be a Mafia member before he sold out to Disney. That was great. Well, I used to be in the Mafia, but now I work for Disney. All Jalen has to do is play his game, not how the media wants him to play. In Northeast, I agree. I am fine. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to just let Jalen be Jalen. He'll throw for 50 yards if it means they win the football game. Sean Gillespie says his confidence is at 50-50. Both teams are good. Don't blow teams out most of the time. They just win. Bring down the evil empire. He does Lou Holtz impression too. The man is talented. Who's that? Ricky Waters? He does a hell of a Lou Holtz impression. Sean, I feel like second there. I got you in there. John Cesar T-Bro, Northeast Sports Philly. Cesar Sean Cummings. Wine Niners Wine. Ty Sirianni is a character on a bit making fun of Philly media? Really? That's how that oh, thank you. Another turkey?
It's a girl turkey.
It's a girl turkey. Okay. There we go. Wow, you have daddy's hands. All right, draw one for mommy. Thank you.
I'm drawing for you because the one I just drew was a mom.
Drew. What?
When I just drew was a mommy.
Okay, thank you.
Drawing for daddy.
Okay. Ty Sirianni is a character on a bit. Okay, that's a character name. Thank you. Ty Sirianni is a character on a bit making fun of Philly media. I didn't know that was the bit. Hit me up if you want detailed explanation. Unfortunately, you fell into the clip trap, missing the point. I mean, I watched the whole interview. Whether that's the bit or not, I don't even think Nick Sirianni was in on it. So yeah, maybe that's over my head, but I didn't feel it was appropriate to keep referring to the coach as someone who maybe not be a big dumb, you know what? Because I don't feel like I remember they did the Ty Sirianni character right after Nick Sirianni shaved his head, and that I didn't think was making fun of the media. I thought that was making fun of Nick Sirianni. But maybe that's changed because, like I said, I don't watch the show regularly. But thank you, Wine. Northeast Hurts will win playing out his true talents, which is dual threat style of play, not playing like Burrow. When people talk about other quarterbacks at like Sam Darnold or Joe Burrow in the same breath as Jalen Hurts, I'm like, Jalen Hurts is his own guy. Like, he's a very different quarterback than those guys. What is that?
A heart.
Oh, that's a heart. Okay, I thought it was a heart.
Wait, it's not. It's the tail.
That's the tail. Okay. All right, I like it. Thank you. There we go. That's the second one. I thought that was I thought that was something else. Okay. Very good, sweetheart. Want to do another one?
Yeah. I want to draw babies now.
Draw a baby. Let me see what
It's gonna be me and Leo.
you and Leo as babies?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna be turkey family.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hey, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, right?
I think so or not.
What was that last part?
I think so.
She thinks so. She thinks so. Oh, wrong mouth. There we go. Yeah, I don't. People that start comparing them like that, I'm just like, what are you even talking about? Let's go. Eagle says, Steve, what's going on? Pin, yo, Farzio. Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Let's go. CJGJ was right about, says Steve, says CJGJ was right about the moment being too big for some. I don't believe the moment was too big for us in 2022, but they got a little help, and this is what happens. Let's go. Brian, what's going on? Nice to see you. Oh, yeah, game in Australia next year. That's going to be crazy. I've never been to Australia. Twiz, what's going on? Crawley, what's going on, buddy? Sean Gillespie, your lock screen is Batman. There was something wrong with me. Well, hey, that's what you're into.
It's me.
Oh, that's a baby turkey.
That's me.
That's you as a baby turkey?
Yeah.
There we go.
And then Leo's gonna be even more small.
Okay. Does your baby turkey not finish the apple juice? Like somebody I know?
Yeah.
That's right. I outed her. She doesn't finish her apple juice. Okay. John Cheeseburger Saints can shove it. That's hilarious.
Did I have to on my brother's kids, Daddy?
April, my lock screen is a Phillies logo. No judgment, Sean. There you go. Whoa, I just saw a really high score game here. What's going on here? Where did that go? I just scrolled. It was like somebody had 47-45. There it is. Philosopher 76-32. 47-45 Eagles.
Here's Leo.
Oh, that looks like Leo. That could be Leo. Definitely smaller. Thank you.
And now I'm wearing Uncle Michael, and now I need your hand for Uncle Michael, your brother.
You need my hand?
Yeah, I have to.
Well, Uncle Michael's 6'5". So
Oh.
I actually think I have the same size hands in it because I have what's known in the medical field as mutant hands. All right, there you go. I'm tracing my hand. There you go. Tracing my hand. Okay. This is what you're starting out with. So that's Daddy's hand right there. Okay. Go ahead. Here. Go back to the workshop. Go back to the lab.
This is my lab.
I don't like all this media stuff for the Super Bowl. Let the team lock in. Yeah, well, this is what pays the bills. Luca. Oh, here we go. Here are the good morning little tootses. T-Bro, April, Wine Niners Wine. Our favorite guest has arrived. Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Fangio is 0-8 versus Mahomes, but yes, those are 8 to Fangios. Yeah. Everyone's saying hi, little toots. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, wow. How about like you're happy to be here?
Hi.
Wow. There we go. That wasn't bad. There we go. All right.
Now I need mommy.
Yeah. Go upstairs. Well, actually, yeah, see if you can get her.
I'll be back in a minute.
Sixers owner too busy. Okay, sweetheart. Sixers owner, Sizers only. So what's up, Satan? Satan. That's a great name. Too busy with the Commanders to do anything. You know, I got to give credit to my cousin Michael, who was like, Jeffrey Lurie should buy the Celtics and then trade them to Josh Harris. So in essence, Josh Harris should buy Jeffrey Lurie should buy the Sixers. Josh Harris should buy the Celtics. That would be perfect, right? We'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with that. But Jeffrey Lurie wants to own, I'm sure, something in New England. And he tried to buy the Patriots before he bought the Eagles. He lost out to Robert Kraft. Then he bought the Eagles. For those that don't know that already. Oh, Pat McAfee and company love Nick. Listen almost every day and catch clips when I'm. Oh, really? Okay. All right. I didn't realize that. Nick's been on multiple times. All right. Hi, Nation. Sup, Farzy, go Birds, 35-21. Let's go. Your daughter's wearing red. It should be green. If it matters for anything, it's Valentine's Day. Nino Brown. Good morning, all. Toots is taking over the show. Was listening to Chris Long. He said Super Bowl week is a nightmare for a player who needs to schedule. I'm sure. 34-23 Birds. Green Light Podcast. That I have caught that. What makes Kansas City so good with average players? Hall of Fame quarterback. And a defense coordinator that knows what the hell he's doing. That's what it just, he's just that good. He is just that good. One thing I'll go to, and of all the things we took away, thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. One of the things I really took away from The Last Dance when we all watched it during pandemic, there's a bunch of stuff that you take away from it, but one thing really reminds me of Super Bowl week. And Dennis Rodman said something that really just will not leave my brain. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Dennis Rodman said during The Last Dance, I would play basketball for free. They play me to put up with the bull. Like they pay me to put up with the BS. Like all the like not being able to walk around a city, all the media coverage on things that you're like, why is this getting media coverage? His personal life, that's what he's getting paid for. Daddy. And that's what I always remember. I'm going to stop talking about Dennis Rodman for a second. Say, yes, sweetheart.
Mommy didn't, because Mommy's going right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we didn't have to do it.
So I'll just trace a little bit of my hand, and that could be Mommy's hand.
Yeah.
Okay, because Mommy's got tiny little hands. There we go. But yeah, anyway. It's like Dennis Rodman said, right, sweetheart?
What Dennis Rodman?
That's what I thought you'd say. Okay. Do all that for free. Play the game for free, put up with everything else. That's why they pay him. The Sixers, who are now 10 games under 500. Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Sixers now 10 games under 500. They've lost back-to-back games, lost to the Nuggets in a heartbreaker. If you would have told me the Nuggets scored 137 points on the Sixers, I would have been, so the Sixers lost by 37. No, they didn't. Thank you, sweetheart. Nope, they only lost by 3 in heartbreaking fashion. Celtics, the Sixers were up yesterday by 26 points in the third quarter and lost to Boston 118-110. That's not cool. They got the Mavericks tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Hopefully they're disheartened. See you, sweetheart. Love you. So, yeah, there you go. That's how that one works. Excuse me. As for your Philadelphia Flyers, they'll try to. Hey, you know what? Let's not even try to win. Let's just, score a goal tomorrow night. They're in Utah against the Utah Hockey Club, 9 o'clock. Mammoth? I saw Utah Mammoth is a possible name. I don't mind that. I think that's cool. Mammoth be a cool mascot as well. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Be back with you guys tomorrow right here on the Farzy Show for a Tuesday edition of Super Bowl week. Eagles getting ready for the Chiefs. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys tomorrow.